Saints Row is close, and we got a ton of new gameplay that reveals many details that will be handy to know before playing, or if you're still on the fence, it will help you decide whether you should get the game or not. I want to go over the full map, including the many side activities you can find and also special events you can encounter. We got co-op footage with a new prank system, extra info on customization, a new look at some weapons, and I also want to set some realistic expectations. Like, I don't think it will be on the same level as some of the recent open world games we saw, but I still think it could be a ton of fun. The takedowns at least look really cool. So of course, if you're curious about Saints Row, then leaving a like on the video would really support the channel. Subscribe for way more videos on the game, and let's go. I really think the best part of Saints Row will be its customization, and not only for the over 80 vehicles in the game or for the weapons that can even change their look completely, but of course mostly for your character, the boss, who we will see in almost every cutscene. And also really cool is how you can pick one of 8 voices that are all recorded by different voice actors, including Erica Lindbeck, who I really liked as Black Cat in Marvel Spider-Man. She's now the boss voice too. So 8 different people behind the same character, and they do not only sound different, but can also have accents, which can then change the script slightly too. I really like it, and IGN had a brief example.
Fall in line. Fall in line. Get out.
You can, by the way, change the voice of the character or also the look on the fly, or of course select it in the character creator at the start of the game, or the Boss Factory demo that is now available on any platform where you can get the game, so they can already make your own character and then immediately jump into the game on August 23rd. And some people already go crazy with this. On Reddit we have Arthur Morgan from Man Behind the Scenes, really awesome. Voldemort, I love this avatar. Navi from Minka Meow, John Berntal, 2D from the Gorillas. You can really go crazy, and I think this Shaggy one from Tower of MG might be the best one I've seen so far. And the cool part is that there's a share code, so you can enter that in your game and then play as one of the characters that someone else created. But the customization doesn't stop there. There are 5 difficulties. Yeah, sadly not the best screenshot, but seems that we got story, easy, normal, hard, and very hard. And thanks to Enclock on Reddit, who translated this Japanese settings menu, we know that you can also tweak the enemy endurance, so likely the health of enemies. Like if you want a more realistic experience and don't like the bullet spongy targets, then you can tweak it down. And we see even more things like notoriety difficulty, so that's when you of course get chased by the police when causing chaos. You can change the frequency at which you get ammo, and the time limit difficulty, which likely applies to the special driving activities where you have to drop off a package without being spotted by the police in under a certain time limit. This is just one of the side hustles, as noted by a blue icon on the map. There's also one where you have to wingsuit out of a helicopter, and you can, by the way, take down enemies from the sky as well. And when on the roof, we have to destroy receivers with an explosive, as we see in the outside Xbox footage. There's also a side hustle where we will be helping with a car chase by laying on a roof of a car and then shooting at aggressive drivers. And next to side hustles, there are also smaller activities like a wanted app, basically Tinder for targets. So you have to swipe to find the perfect enemy for you, with special rewards and XP linked to them. Pretty nice. Every region has a select number of activities, as we see in this footage from Retro Crystal, with discoveries being a couple of things. They for one show up when you get close to them, and can be things like loot, so extra money, XP, or even an item sometimes when you search in these containers. These can also be fast travel locations, which you unlock by taking a picture of the point of interest. There could also be armored fence randomly in the world. You want to blow these up to get the money inside, which can of course alert nearby police, so you want to take them out as well. There are quite a lot of things, and of course the side hustles are really kind of the big side activity. And there's one I forgot to mention. Here you have to leave a review on a Yelp equivalent of Santo Eliso. With the lower the score, the more enemies of a certain faction will show up to take you out. So it's basically a hold and defend mode against the crazy neon hippies called the Idols. We also got the more grounded raw strength gang called the Los Panteros that have some hotels or restaurants they will be protecting. And there's of course also the military corporate Marshall Defense Industries. They're the enemy faction in the more urban environments, likely the hardest to take out. also that we will encounter mostly near the end of the game, looking at their equipment and the weapons they use. We as the boss actually start as part of this faction, with our first day on the job being the tutorial of the game, and it seems like a suicide mission to bring in a criminal. Yeah, this goes sideways, so then you and your friends, who are by the way also ex-gang members from other factions, decide to start your own criminal venture. First you plan to pay the rent for your apartment, before you move into a pretty big looking home base. This really unlocks after just a few hours into the game. You can put special cosmetics in this location if you want, with the customization trailer showing quite a lot of variety. So high chance that my Saints HQ will look different from yours, and you can also access your weapon cache here to select and customize your different guns. Your wardrobe is close by. Now this does work the same as the outfits you can select via your style app anywhere into the game, but it's nice to have it in your home base as well. And of course there's a garage as well, but the most interesting part of the HQ is the Empire table. This is namely how you plan to take over Santo Elizo, by putting criminal ventures on empty spots on the map. This doesn't only unlock buildings in that location, so for example unlocks a garage for you to go to in the open world, but it also has an hourly income noted on the card. So it's probably in-game hours, which should be way faster than real-world hours, and we should probably be able to leave our game on again to get some free money over time, just like in Saints Row the Third. Putting certain criminal ventures in certain districts will give us extra benefits, so we have to keep an eye out for that. There are 14 of these buildings in total. Not all of them are unlocked immediately, and they should also become more expensive the further we get into the game. Here we see Rosero built the big one, which also unlocks the Mayhem side activity. Maybe you remember this from the older games, but here you basically have to wreak as much havoc in under a time limit, with your score determined by the damage in cash. So a rocket launcher is helpful, and this seems even easier in co-op, and by the way more on co-op in a moment. There are namely also other criminal ventures, including toxic disposal, where you have to carefully return a truck with toxic waste, but when hitting other vehicles or the environment, you will cost to lose some of this poisonous green stuff. And during these missions you will also encounter enemies infected by this green poison, causing them to become stronger and more aggressive. There's also one criminal venture where we have to steal food trucks, but there will be enemies defending them, and also while riding these food trucks there will be enemies chasing us, and we have to fend off targets as well from different factions at our drop-off point. Jim Robs looks like an ordinary garage, but for him we have to steal certain car parts. Yes, you can also do this with the wingsuit, and then just steal a car that way, bring it back to Jim Robs, and that should complete the mission. And yes, of course, insurance fraud is back as well, where you have to deal as much damage to yourself as possible in a certain amount of time, with the adrenaline mode helping with this as well, because then by simply touching a vehicle it will blow up, causing you to launch yourself in the air so you can do it again. Now completing these missions should also help you take over certain districts, which will then unlock a venture specific ally that can guard the location, which should be helpful. And overall this criminal venture system should kind of be the end game of Saints Row, with maybe even factions taking districts you captured back, although it's kinda unclear how this is all going to work. What we do know is that you can get some pretty cool rewards from completing these activities, as already noted on the venture card. So these range from statues for your HQ, outfits, but also special looks for your weapon, like that guitar case launcher we saw in recent trailers. Well, this skin is a reward from the Shady Oaks criminal venture, but there are of course way more crazy weapons in the game. In an early mission we're able to use a pretty strong looking minigun, taking out waves of enemies with ease. We can pick up a shield from enemies and then use it to protect ourselves, which should be helpful. We know there's a Trust Buster, which is a football that sticks onto the enemy, launching them in the air after a short delay. This should by the way also work on cars. In the menu we spotted an unlockable Star-Lord. Star God Blaster mod for our hand cannon, with the finger guns being here as well. Like, we've seen a lot of crazy firepower already, including a penguin-like umbrella gun, a taser gun to stun enemies for a short time, a box glove gun. They teased a gun that can shoot through objects and walls. There are a ton of fun looking melee weapons, so really a ton to unlock, next to of course the combat abilities. You can for example do a flaming punch that looks quite powerful. At any point in the game you can access your skills via the app and map 4 different ones to a shortcut D-pad style menu. Every time you level up you unlock a brand new ability, and this should go up to level 20, with the first skill unlocked on level 2. So there should be, I think, 19 skills in total. The first skill is the Pineapple Express. You've likely seen countless of times now. Can be quite effective. After that you can unlock a smoke screen. You can drop down or even throw to confuse enemies. There's a proximity mine that should deal a ton of damage to enemies that are near it. And next to active abilities there should also be health and flow upgrades, so we can use these abilities more often. PC Games N shared higher rank skills, including one where you're able to call some saints to help you during a fight, which could be nice, and one where you spin around and fire bullets in every direction, which sounds pretty strong. Now, next to skills there are also perks, which you can access via a different app, and you unlock these by doing specific challenges. They also come in different categories. In the end you can equip 2 minor perks, 2 major perks and 1 elite perk. You get 1 perk slot by just playing, and the other 4 are unlocked by spending an increasing amount of cash, as you see right here. And here we also see 1 perk example where you move faster when crouching and when using fine aim. Another example is sneak attack, where you do more damage when you attack enemies from behind, and you can easily switch between these perks, with obviously major and elite perks giving even better benefits. And according to Eurogamer, we should be able to swap out ability and perk loadouts very easily. Like, they should be linked to certain styles that we can access via the style app. While at first these presets only seem to change your actual look, and when going to a brick and mortar store you can of course pick up new outfits if you want. There are many in the world, as noted with a green icon. They all have their unique items, including a wizard hat, or you can also get specific merch that is linked to one shop. And when looking to increase your wardrobe in co-op, you will see your partner as well, who can then do some gestures in the back. There are many emotes you can do with a simple button, including punching yourself in the face. I don't know why you would do that. Getting out a guitar and way more. The list is pretty expensive actually. So while you can of course do them in single player, they're of course more fun in 2-player drop in and drop out co-op. You can explore the whole open world together, do side activities, and also play most, if not all, of the 25 main missions together. And even if the other person you are joining is further into the story, you can still play with them, and then when you reach that point in your own game, you can choose to either replay that mission or skip ahead. Always like it when games do that. And you also can take all your collectibles, customization, weapons, etc. back to your own game. It's untethered, so you can go as far away from your co-op body as you want, with GPS markers, by the way, being shared. So when I select the location, you will see that too. And there are other fun things like a co-op wheelie, why not? Or you can, for example, pick up your buddy who's in a car with a helicopter and drop them off somewhere. The game should scale to 2 players, so it will not be like easier per se, although you of course do unlock the ability to revive your friends. So that will of course make things more manageable. Although you will have a hard time reviving someone when being shot at. There's also a brand new prank system. By doing special solo challenges only one of the players can see, you build up this prank meter, and then you can cash it out, causing your co-op partner to, out of nowhere, smell bad, with the NPCs reacting to that as well. You can have money rain down on them as one of the pranks. And we sadly have no footage of this, but you should also be able to turn the other player into mailboxes, toilets, trash cans, and the like. And if you then go into a cutscene, that player will still look like that object, which should be funny. And there are even rumors that we might get a bigger multiplayer GTA Online-like mode post-launch. Just a rumor, but could be fun, although I think I will mostly be playing the game single player. We at least know that there will be 3 DLC expansions post-launch, which is quite a lot. Each expansion will open up new areas of the open world and include new missions, new enemies, new diversions, new weaponry, new vehicles and customization options. So I hope we get some like free content in between these paid drops as well. We haven't had a big open world game since February. Like, I'm not expecting anything groundbreaking here, especially in terms of open world design and activities. It really feels like a PS4 and Xbox One game in that sense. Although the customization totally looks next gen, and I hope it will just be fun to unlock everything. So I'm totally looking forward to playing Saints Row on August the 23rd. We will do more videos, including tips and tricks, so totally subscribe for everything on Saints Row. A like on the video would really help me out, and totally check out our previous Saints Row video by clicking on the screen. For now, we'll speak to you soon. Goodbye.